Okay, happy Friday. It is January 8th, 2021, and things have just been super, super hot. Glenn Stein, Realty Executives, broker owner here in the Villages and also in Ocala. Our village office just focuses in 90% of our stuff is Villages and the surrounding areas, but what I typically talk about is I talk about the Villages, and Villages is probably the main pull for a lot of these areas here. When people are moving into our area, the Villages is really the pull, whether they want the entertainment, or they want the restaurants, or they want something to do, whatever it is. It's definitely a big pull. So I'm going to give you the market watch, right? Like I'm looking at new listings. We had last 7 days, which is basically the whole year, right? Like the first week of this year, which is really interesting because typically holidays, probably from like December 15th to like the middle of January, maybe the second week of January, but until this time, is usually like pretty slow, right? Like when we look at January closings are usually the smallest amount of closings that you'll see throughout the year. Now, thinking about what we have gone through in 2020, low interest rates, real estate market has never been this good. Okay, maybe for spots, maybe if you look back like 2005, six, there have been times where the market was red hot. This has been probably the longest period of time that the market has been red hot, kind of like a bull market, pretty much for the last 8 to 9 years. But now we're looking at the amount of inventory in the marketplace, the amount of options that buyers have is at a premium, which is really good for people. But 48 new listings, that's a lot of new listings that have come on the market, and most of that has been the last 3 to 4 days. I'll tell you that most of that inventory has come on the market recently, and an incredible amount pending. So you may think, okay, a lot of listings, a lot of stuff coming on the marketplace. Oh wow, there's maybe the price is going to come down. Not so much, because we're looking at almost the same amount of properties coming off the market as coming on the market. 47 pending properties. 47 different properties went under contract on MLS in the Villages the last 7 days. And once again, lots of that last 3 to 4 days. Like the first couple of days when we're looking at like January, January 1, January 2 or 3, a little bit slow, but last 4 or 5 days of the last 7 days has been on fire. So that tells you a lot. There's a lot of things going on here in the Villages too, right? Like there's obviously with COVID, that's prevented our Canadian clients from coming down. They're still stuck in Canada. I can't imagine, negative whatever it is in Canada. They're kind of stuck there, which is unfortunate. But I think a lot of you that are in the northern climates are kind of feel like you need to stay in place. And if you have questions, about what's going on here, I think that's important. Like you really want to know what's going on ground floor here in the Villages in Florida. Don't pay attention to the news. Call a couple of people and get a good idea as to what is really going on ground level, ground floor, because it's not anywhere near as bad as what you're hearing on the news, of course. You can call me at 352-572 3796, 352-572-3796. Also, there's something I'm looking at, for those of you that are not in the marketplace. If you live here in the Villages, you get the POA magazine, POA Property Owners Association Bulletin. Of course, you'll find, our folks in here. We advertise in here, so you'll find us in here. But the reason why I bring this up is that, one of the plays, because we've seen a little bit lighter traffic going to the squares because of COVID. We're seeing a movement of some of the commercial properties, specifically in the squares, the second floor retail areas and shops. Actually, there haven't been any shops. They're turning those into apartments. So that's going to be very interesting. There's been some controversy over that. Not everybody's in favor of that, like they did with La Hacienda. Hacienda Hills Country Club community basically tore down the country club and pool, and some people are, upset about that. But regardless, that's something that's going on. I'm reading here 286 units are going up there, but it's also age restricted, type of, it's going to be similar demographic as the rest of the Villages. And also we're looking at potentially some, and we're going to know that pretty soon, probably the next couple of weeks, whether the apartments are going to be approved. I would think so in the second story retail spots in the squares, which I think, they'll probably go for a premium. I mean, good location, right? Parking is just behind the building. You got plenty of parking. So that should be interesting. But once again, questions, 352-572-3796, 352-572-3796. You can also find properties on our website, BUYSellTheVillages.com, buysellthevillages.com. And, you do have to register, but we're not going to spam you. Some people complain about that, and I think there's always something to complain about. But the reality is we're not interested in harassing you. We're just interested in helping you out. And if you have questions, you can connect with us. Okay? So Happy New Year, everybody, and we'll talk soon. Take care.